This is Lou White again, and I wanted to show you this book called I Am Yahuwah. That is my name. And it's a book that explains the name Yahusha and Yahuwah are actually very closely related. What is his name and what is his son's name, if you know it? Proverbs 30 verse 4. Do you know, who do you say I am? Well, it's actually in print at Amazon.com, or you can pick it up at Torazone.net. And it's a very small book. It has a Hebrew letter explanation chart in the back. And it's basically based on the text at Yashayahu 42:8. And that's Yashayahu, Isaiah. If you slow it down and look at the word Isaiah, you can see his name is Yashayahu. Anyway, that word Yasha is a root, and it uses a prefix to the name they call Isaiah. But Hebrew is something that we're trying to overcome the Tower of Babel. You know, we're trying to get back to the living waters, the purity of the word, which is really the only pure thing we have is the name and the word and the Hebrew. And a little explanation of what has been happening recently among people on the internet teaching Hebrew. Hebrew is actually Iberith, or later it was called Yahudith in the text, where Hebrew is the well of living waters, but when it's filtered through the dirty cisterns of other languages, the brain prints or fingerprints of men's ideas add a bad taste to it, and it's coming out nasty and polluted. One of the worst things that ever happened was these twiddly diddles that happened, the little nikud marks that were added as phonemes to urge people to pronounce words in a different way than they're actually written. Anyway, the complexity of all the languages stirs up many misunderstandings. They hear things, but the patient person and the wise person will consider everything before jumping to their conclusions that they've already inherited from men. The suffix at the end of the name Yahusha, that's 5 letters in Hebrew, 216 times in the Tanakh, and it's Yod, He, Ua, Shin, Ayin. Now the Shin and the Ayin, what is that? It doesn't just mean everything that the definition can possibly mean. It's a suffix, and it modifies the primary word, Yahu, which is 3 letters, Yod, He, Ua. Anyway, it informs its meaning from, its component, Shin Ayin, which comes from another root, Yasha. And those who are new to the Iberith study, it helps to know how adding the phonemes later, or in the 8th century, by the Masorets, the twiddly diddles called nikud marks, has altered the sound of Hebrew words considerably. Now, I'm going to show you a picture here. The Los Lunas stone in New Mexico, in the United States, was discovered in the 1800s, and it's been mutilated since it was discovered, but I have a photo of it before the mutilation. Somebody attacked it with a hammer and chisel, and they've destroyed the thing. But it was unprotected. It was laying there for so many years. And it was obviously dated back to the days of Shlomo, or Solomon. And it was the 10 Commandments written in actual Hebrew letters by the Samaritan ships that left, the ports of northern Israel, like Jaffa and other ports like Yonah left from, to go to establish or find new colonies. And they reached the United States, and there are several places where you'll find Hebrew, not Aramese. This is pre-captivity stuff, before the Assyrians ever took them in 722 BCE, or the Babylonians took them 135 years later to Babylon in 586 BCE. Finally, there were other captives taken at earlier times, like Daniel. But, the thing that you have to remember is these were in place here in the United States under orders by Yahuwah to put these commandments at your gates. and write them on your doorposts. Well, these commandments were on a stone, obviously at a gate to a type of colony that was there, and the sea levels were different too. They probably sailed right on through, over Florida and right into what we now call Los Lunas, New Mexico. A lot of people are asking for more information about this, and you can get a list of the Ten Commandments from us with the Los Lunas stone photograph on it. It's about this big, and I don't know, a couple of feet tall. But the stone itself is pictured at the top. And the ancient Los Lunas stone here in the United States, in New Mexico, this is a picture of it here. And it doesn't have any phenomes or nikud marks on it, you'll notice. There's none on the Dead Sea Scrolls either. They don't have any marks like that because they aren't needed. The letters, look at the letter A, Aleph. It's tilted 90 degrees to the left, but the letter A, Aleph, is obviously here. And his name is here too, in the four letters, Yod, He, He. Our teachers have led us into confusion. Yashayahu, or Isaiah 9, verse 16, tells us this. And when an uninformed student forms an impression based on the worst possible definition of a name or a suffix taken out of context, a poor foundation is laid. And they believe this, and they won't easily be stirred from it unless somebody comes to them and explains it to them. Always be careful what you say, and be slow to speak. For whatever is hidden shall be revealed, and whatever is secret shall be known and come to light. Therefore take heed how you hear. For whoever possesses, to him more shall be given, and whoever does not possess, even what he thinks he possesses, shall be taken from him. That's a quote from the BYNV. The name was hidden, and it was kept secret, but it is now being shouted from the rooftops. Ask Yahusha to help you. Love one another.